Attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon. Bob Spitz here with Management Success. So glad you could join us. Hope it's good wherever you are. It's an absolutely stunning, beautiful day here in Southern California. Wind is mild and the skies are blue and the temperature's in the 80s, just the way I like it. We're going to be doing part two of our series on marketing your truck shop today. And what we're going to be concentrating on is how to put together a local campaign versus a nationwide. We're not going to cover nationwide tonight. We're going to cover that in our third episode. Also, traditional marketing, paper marketing versus e-marketing, and then how to put together good outside sales. What do you need to do for your outside sales? So that's what we're going to be covering here tonight. And joining me, let me move my screen forward here. Oh, first, for those of you who don't know us, we've been in business since 1993. Management Success is the #1 provider of quality management training for the automotive, which of course includes trucks, independent repair facilities here in the U.S. and Canada. We have seminars, not every weekend, but close every weekend, somewhere in the U.S. or Canada. And we do workshops and consulting and coaching, and we have wonderful conventions, and we build custom websites and all of that. You can go on our website and you can find out more about what we do. Joining me tonight and helping me and keeping me real is my friend David Saline, owner of Second to None Service in New Mexico. I just have his one location up here, but David is an MSO, multiple shop operator. David, you want to introduce yourself?
Welcome, everybody. I'm David Saline. As Bob says, I own Second to None Service. We have 2 locations, one in Moriarty, New Mexico, and one in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And we are glad to be a part of this and help other shops on their marketing strategies.
Fantastic. That's great, Dave. Now, you are more than, you started out truck, but you've expanded into auto care in the Moriarty location, correct?
Yes, in our Moriarty location, we were mainly truck when we started. Small town, 2,500 people in the town. We do truck, automotive, farm equipment, whatever comes in the door we work on in that location. My Albuquerque location is more catered to fleet service and over-the-road service of trucks, and we are currently probably 2 weeks into launching a refrigeration transport service to work on the reefer units for the trucks.
Fantastic. Is that going to be at the Albuquerque facility?
We're running the reefer service out of the Albuquerque facility, but our guys are mobile, so it doesn't matter which shop you can come into. We can send them to either shop to have the repairs done.
Fantastic. That's great. All right, so let's see if we can shine some light on some tips here and some tricks on how to better market a truck shop, because marketing a truck shop is not like marketing an auto care center. It is very much a different beast. You're dealing more business to business than an emotional sale, and your competition is a little bit different in the truck industry than it is in the car industry. So there's these uniquenesses about it that we're going to cover and hopefully give you some tips on how to improve your marketing strategy in your shop. So let's get right down to business. In our first episode, we covered the importance of having a budget, not just spending money whenever or not spending money at all on marketing, but actually budgeting it into your game plan, your business plan. And that was 5 to 8% is what we're looking at. Building your brand, having a good logo, making sure that logo and what you stand for, your tagline, is well promoted on everything, the building, your uniforms, your business cards, your stationery, and of course your website, so that people have instant recognition. They see that logo, they see that saying, they think what it is you want them to think, whether it be quality, speed of service, speed of service and quality, whatever it is you want them to think, and getting that promoted. So tonight we're going to take up local campaigns, traditional versus e-marketing, and outside sales. All right, so let's talk about local campaigns, David. When you're thinking about launching a local campaign, what do you do? What are the steps that you take?
Well, the first step is that you identify the customers that you want to attract to your shop. Once you've identified these fleets and everything, the next thing is to find out who the fleet director is, who's in charge of the maintenance on the vehicle, who's the decision maker is.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, once we do that, we'll try to send a mailer to them, email them, make a phone call, and just introduce ourselves to them.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, then, what we'll do is we'll take and send an outside salesman to personally drop off information and meet with that fleet director if possible. You know, and a lot of times you don't get to meet the fleet director on the first visit you make. So we'll drop off press books, information about our company. We use a billing service, so we'll drop off credit apps so they can be part of the billing service with them. And then when we get in touch with the fleet director, that's when all the magic happens.
Right. So now this is part of your business plan. Promoting to local fleets and working fleets this way is not something that you do occasionally. This is ongoing for you, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a daily process on there. When you're talking like our local campaigns here, we're always in search of new fleets, anybody with trucks in our area. So if our service writers ain't selling at the front counter or doing work at the mechanics and stuff, they got free time. They're on the phone making phone calls. I actually have a policy set up that each service writer's to do 10 to 15 calls a day.
Fantastic. All right. Now, when we talk about sending them something, I've got a couple of samples here. One is Eddie Lawrence's from MTR. He had a nice mailer that he set up, but he also hand delivers those. And of course, there's a sample of a Napa. If you're a Napa truck center, you can have access to those cards there. So what is it that you're actually, how do you come up with a piece?
Well, our pieces, it all depends. It changes from each season and everything else, but the first thing we do is it's always branded, just like you see here with Eddie's. It's kind of branded to his shop. Every piece has the same background to it. Then if we run a special or if we're just introducing ourselves, it may be we've surveyed our customers and found out what they want and what they expect out of a shop, so that's what's going to be on our piece. Now, at this time, you know, we get a piece like this, you're going to mail it out to them. We'll email it, we'll fax it. Before we even walk into a fleet's shop, they've received at least 3 or 4 communications from us, be phone calls, emails, faxes, and mailed out cards to them.
Right. So you would make sure that any piece that you have in paper, you also have a similar piece electronically that you can email.
Yeah, we have everything we design on paper has electronic form to it, and it goes back to where we talked last time on the last webinar, but it even matches our website, the colors, everything's branded to our company.
Right. So we have that top of the mind instant recognition. Oh, this is second to none. This is what they're doing.
Yes.
Right, good. Now, another aspect of marketing and doing something locally for local campaigns is something that we talked about. We talked about this at NAP, and of course we talk about this a lot at Management Success with Wheels to Prosper and other cause marketing vehicles, which are extremely powerful. But I don't think many truck shops think in the terms of using cause marketing in local campaigns.
Yeah, but we use a lot of the same cause marketing that an auto shop would, and it's brought us great success. But it's just your positioning on it. We're part of the Wheels to Prosper, and we give away a car each year. When we do this, though, we make it anytime we're interviewed, anytime our brochures go out, and after we do this car, we'll do a press release in the local papers and local media thanking all of our customers that made this possible. All of our fleet customers that use our shop, that's what makes this possible to do this for the community.
Right. You want to talk about this particular campaign here, because this will be coming up for you in the fall, your turkey
Yes.
drive?
Sure. What we do on this campaign is that every time a customer comes into our shop and spends over $100 on a ticket, we donate $5 of that ticket to a pot. And then right before Thanksgiving, we go to work out a deal with usually partner up with one of our local grocery stores. And we've been pretty fortunate because they, just to help put their name on the program that we do there, they give us all the turkeys it cost. And we take in, we load up and buy as many turkeys as we can. We take them to the local storehouse, and they usually have reporters there when we show up with it and everything else, because it's such a big thing in our community. As this one here in Moriarty, when we first started this program, the local storehouse would get about 15 to 20 turkeys a year to give away to families in the community. And we've bumped that number now up to close to 200 turkeys each year that we give to the storehouse. And it's actually started a big community involvement, because now there's more businesses in the community doing the same thing.
Wow, that's great. So you get some press on this?
Yes. Oh yeah. Every time we usually send a press release out saying what day we're going to be delivering them there and everything else, and it's one of those things. Reporters attract to that good news, and they want to know the story behind it.
Right. So what have you seen personally as far as a PR value, a public relations value for you as a business person in a truck shop doing this?
Well, our local customers, our local fleets and everything else, it gets us recognized by them. They want to bring their trucks to our shop because they know, we're giving back to the community, and they're a part of that by just having their service work done that they're going to be doing anyway.
Uh-huh.
The other part of it is that this PR and marketing campaigns also goes back to when you're looking for employees. I've had many people come to us and say, I get a lot of applications after we run a campaign like this of people wanting to come to work with us because of our involvement within the community.
Fantastic. So it's absolutely a worthwhile activity for you to do.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Fantastic. Okay, good. Now, I've got some polling questions here for those of you who are sitting in tonight. And the first one is, are you doing both traditional and e-marketing? And let me open up that poll. And let me launch it. Just answer the question. I'll leave the poll open another 5 seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. And the answer is no. Well, David, do you suggest that a truck shop do both traditional and e-marketing?
Oh, yes. When you're talking traditional marketing, that's your word of mouth and everything else that's going on out there. That's very important. But nowadays, e-market is even more important, because when a truck driver breaks down the side of the road, guess what they go to find out where to get their truck fixed?
Yeah, their device.
They go to a smartphone or some kind of electronic device in their truck now.
Right. So you've got to be there. Okay, good. Let me forward the screen here. All right, let's talk about outside sales now, David. So we've thought of the campaign. We're doing something that we want to promote. We've identified local fleets around town. We've identified who the directors are. We've sent them something in the mail. We've maybe emailed them something. We've established a communication. We've set an appointment, and we're going to go out there. How do you control this? How do you handle that in your shop?
Okay. Well, if it's a new customer that we're after and everything, the first thing is right here on the screen. It says bring something. Well, you always bring your materials and stuff like that with you about your company and what services you offer. But I recommend one of the best one is donuts and cookies. Go a long way. So a small box of cookies or a small box of donuts, just take it in here and say compliments of second to none, and then it also opens up the lines of communication.
Yeah, there's nothing like food to get people smiling.
And a lot of the times when you bring donuts in, they don't kick you out and say they ain't got time for you.
That's right, because that would be rude. Here, you brought them a gift. That's good. Now, I wanted to ask you, how do you organize your outside sales activities? Is it something that, oh, we should go do some today, or is it an ongoing? How do you organize your outside sales?
We have an ongoing outside salesman that's his only job. And what happens is the service writers make contact, and when they make contact and get the interest level up, they'll send him by. He'll take something by to him, like donuts or cookies, and then bring our materials with him. And that's when he's going to sit down and he's going to interview them.
Uh-huh.
And so when he's in his job is when he goes in, he's interviewing the customer, and a lot of the times there's a few questions that are definitely having to be asked to every customer and every new customer when he's out there. First one is where do you get your service work done currently?
Mm-hmm.
The next question is what do you like the most about them?
Uh-huh.
And the next question after that, if there's anything you could change about them, what would it be?
Right, as opposed to asking what you don't like about them.
Yeah, but what would you like to change about them? They'll usually answer those three questions right there. Once you've got that information, that's where the sales takes place now. The salesman's all over whatever they like the most and what they would like to change. That's what services we are going to offer.
Absolutely, we're the specialists in that.
But at the same time, he's also taking notes on it because he's going to take that notes down, and we have pre-made flyers just from experience of what we get back from these answers and everything. And he brings these surveys basically back to our service writers, and the service writers are going to put down a special marketing piece to that customer, whether it be the fast turnaround time, quality work. It could be, there's many different ones. We have quality work, fast turnaround times, prices can be too high that they don't like sometimes. So we have special marketing pieces that are all set up for each one of those answers there. And then the service writer then will email and mail off that particular marketing piece to that fleet right after he's been visited by our salesman.
To address the exact thing that the salesman found out at the visit that was needed and wanted by that fleet director.
Yes.
Man, that's great. That's really good target marketing. Now, let me ask you, how do you manage your outside sales guy?
My outside sales guy, there's a couple different things that happen with him. Ours is a little different than the traditional hired from us. We have a private contractor that goes out, and we just pay him a monthly fee.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't get a percentage of sales or anything else. But what his target is we give him a list of the customers we want him to see from our office. He brings back and reports back the information from them. And then if he's driving around and sees another customer or sees something that looks like it's in our category of work, he'll stop in there and visit with them too and bring us back information to these are a client that you need to talk to.
And so how often do you get reports from him?
He comes in, we get Usually daily reports. He's in constant communication with our service writers. If he has a customer that he walked in off the street and talked to and they have a particular vehicle that they're having a problem with, he will call straight into the service desk and see if we can schedule it in and get it worked on for him.
Great. Now, those of you who are listening, if you've got questions about this, you can put them into the question box on the screen, or you can hold off on them and give David a call. I'm sure David would be happy to answer your questions. David, what number should people reach you on?
The easiest way to get a hold of me is on my cell phone number, and that number is 505-440-5034.
Great. All right. Let's move forward here. Now, getting to the decision maker, how do you go about that?
Well, a lot of times you don't get to the decision maker right away. They're usually the busiest person in that building, and they will screen their calls. They will screen who gets to see them. So after we've sent out the marketing pieces and everything else, and if our salesman shows up out there to the place and he can't get to the decision maker, the first thing he's going to do is ask for an appointment. When would be a good time? Can I have an appointment to spend 10, 15 minutes with them?
Mm-hmm.
And if they give him an appointment, he'll return on that time. If not, if he can't get an appointment, the next thing he does is he'll leave a press book, his business card, and our shop's information and contact things, and just tell him at his leisure, have him take a look at our materials. If he has any questions, please give us a call.
Good, and we'll get into press books in a moment here. So let me ask you one more question here, David, on this. Do you ever get assistance from drivers to get to the decision maker?
Yes, that's another big one there. If you know the local drivers that drive in that fleet, they are a big player in this too, because drivers switch jobs a lot of times. And if you have a driver that you take care of in your shop and he's happy with you, a lot of times he'll put you in contact with the person in charge at his new place of employment.
Good. Right. So leave no stone unturned when
Yes,
looking for that decision maker.
Yes, drivers can be a real good one. Employees of the company, even if you show up there and you can't get a hold of the decision maker and leave, a box of donuts there at the front desk and everything, the next time you come in, they're a little more apt to try to get you in touch with the right person.
Yep. I know those donuts work. All right. Let me ask another polling question here. And who does your outside sales? Okay, I'll leave it open another 5 seconds here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we'll close the poll. Managers and dedicated outside salespeople. Okay. Do you ever do any outside sales directly yourself anymore, David?
Occasionally I will. Most of the time I have my managers and outside salespeople doing that. Occasionally, if it's a big client that needs a special attention, I'm definitely out there.
Good. Okay. Now, let's talk about press books for a moment, because you've mentioned it a couple of times as one of the things that you have your outside salespeople drop off. What is a press book?
Press book is basically, we make ours, it's a binded book, and the front cover of it usually has a picture of our shop and crew on there and our name and logo. It's all branded to us. Then we'll put a page in there about us, how we started, what our mission statement is for our shop, and where we're going with everything. Then we'll have a page in there about our services, what services we offer, what vehicles we work on, everything that we do in our shop. And then we'll put a page in there about our technicians. We give our technicians a lot of credit. They're proud to be in these books. We tell them how many years they've worked with us, what all their certifications are, and what backgrounds they have. If they have a special tech that's had a background on a certain engine and stuff like that, we'll promote that all in there. And then we'll put what like our cause marketing, our turkey drives. We give pictures of the newspaper clippings of that in there. We have our customers' testimonials in there, what customers think of us and how they, you know, what their experiences were with our shop.
So this is a spiral-bound 8.5 by 11 booklet, right?
Yes.
And you print up how many of these at a time usually?
We're printing about 200 of them a month.
Fabulous. And so they get mailed out, they get handed out?
Yeah, they're at our service counter. We hand them out to, say somebody comes in. We've had, you know, people come in, just fleet directors come in and say, oh, I heard about you. We want more information. We'll give them a press book at our counter. Our outside salesman drops one off everywhere he stops at. We put them out in different businesses. I put them in tow trucks. I have tow trucks companies that will keep them in their tow trucks, so when they hook up to somebody's truck on the side of the road and they don't know where they want to go, he'll hand them this book and say, hey, take a look at this. Is this where you'd like to go?
Right. And if you're not quite ready to put together your own press book, you can just use a binder like I'm showing here. Napa provides them if you're a Napa shop. And it's just you put in the sheets of paper of what David's talking about there. Who you are, the services you provide, your testimonials, interesting things about your people, and just put it into a folder. And you can get these folders at your local stationery store or online. It doesn't have to be fancy to start with. You know, a sticker on there with your business card to get you going on it. But you definitely want to get to the point where you're putting together a professional looking piece, and a press book is a great piece. If you have never done the Management Success Advanced Marketing course, you should, and also the Public Relations course, because David, I think you picked up some great ideas doing those courses.
Oh yeah, they definitely have great ideas in those courses. And just to let everybody know, when you're talking about a press book, they're not as expensive as you think to make. You get some good quality hard, we use a hard glossy paper, and we bought our own, basically it's a cutting machine and binder that binds it all at one time. It wasn't very expensive. You can get it in the office store for under $100. And then you just take them to a local printer, and usually I think our last order of 200 in our press books probably have 15 pages in them front and back, was 200 of them was about $1 a piece for the printing of the whole book.
And they're effective.
Yes, very effective.
Great. All right. Cold calling. Now, we're leaving that up to our outside salesperson, but you're doing that, right? Because you said you're giving a target, a quota of X number to your service writers to do this.
Yes, cold calling is another big marketing strategy that we have. Is probably one of our most effective in getting new customers.
Mm-hmm.
Our service writers will go through the local phone directories. They will check up, you can go on the internet and put in trucking companies in your area, and you can get their phone numbers and everything there, and then our service writers just go through the list and call every phone number they can. If it has trucking or trucks in it, they call.
Great. So yeah, don't be afraid of doing cold calling. You know, if you've never done it, well, it takes a little bit of practice. It takes the right kind of personality to do it, but you got to do it. It's just part of the entire campaign. When you're launching a campaign, you got to think of all the avenues that this is going to be promoted on, and all the different aspects of the campaign. And cold calling is a big one. All right.
Yeah, and I was going to say on cold calling there, if you're worried about like telemarketers and getting hung up on all the time, if you're sticking to your local base, your local campaigns, most of the time you're going to have the same area code, and they're going to listen to you. They're always interested in what options they have out there.
Yep, absolutely. And then how do you do your follow-ups? Because cold calling is one thing, and then following up is another matter.
Yes, effective follow-up. It makes it goes along with every image we put and everything we promise to our customers in our marketing pieces. We have several different follow-up calls that happen out of our shop. Vehicles worked on, within 5 days after it's left our shop, we will call. There's usually two. It depends on what kind of customer you're talking to. But a local will call the fleet, make sure that it's still out and doing everything it should be doing, truck's running good. If they have any other problems they'd like us to address, we'll be more than glad to address that. And don't be afraid to, if the customer has a problem, get it back into the shop and get it fixed right away. Be on top of it.
Right. Absolutely. You got to stand behind. You know, there's an old saying in business, you have to have sizzle, but boy, you better have steak to back it up.
Yeah. So that's our first follow-up call. And then usually on our recommended repairs, if we found other stuff that needed to be fixed on that, about 2 weeks after, we'll call and see if they've gotten it addressed. And if not, we'll schedule them in to get it addressed. And then there's a 30-day follow-up we do just to check and see that everything's still going good.
You know, and those kind of actions, ongoing actions, are the difference between having a great shop and struggling. It's those little things, and you've got to keep them in place, and it's got to be part of an overall strategy and part of your campaign. And then executing it, and then watching your statistics and making sure that what you're doing is working. Our next webinar, which will be in a couple of weeks, will be the third in this series, and we're going to take up now how do you launch a campaign for nationwide fleets, networking and referral, getting those, and working with your drivers. All of these play a big part in marketing a truck shop. Hey, David, I want to thank you so much for your help. Appreciate it as always. And folks, you know, you just got to do it. That's the bottom line. Got to have a strategy, then you've got to put it together, and you got to plan it out, and then execute it. And if you need help, by golly, we're here to help you. Don't hesitate to give us a call. There's going to be a survey popping up. Please, please, please fill that survey out. I'd very much appreciate it if you would. I wish you nothing but success. Hey, David, have a great night there in New Mexico, and I'll see you soon in New York.
Will do, Bob. And I just have one final comment, too, on everybody listening in and everything. Marketing is one area of your shop you should never cut the expenses on. That is just one place you should never cut any expenses on marketing.
Nope. It is the lifeblood. It is what keeps that shop full.
Yes.
All right. Okay, once again, have a great night, folks. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Good night.